Hi everyone and welcome back to Arctic RC. After request, I'm going to make a video on how to assign the switches on your radio to different channels or your spare channels after a setup. I'm always using the AR8000. Why? Because this is the ones that I have the most of and it gives me 8 channels to play around with. You have the 4 channels that you usually use for a setup on your airplane, and that is aileron, elevator rudder and throttle. When I'm setting up the wing on my planes, I always use dual ailerons. Why? Because I like to individually set up the ailerons or trim them. And I also, when I can, I will use dual elevator on the larger aquaplanes and so on. When you're using dual ailerons, one of the spare channels will disappear automatically, and that is the aux1 channel for the aileron, and if you're using dual elevator, the aux2 channel disappears. That leaves you with the gear channel and the aux3 channel. Using spare channel is quite cool because you can use them for the smoke pump of your aquaplane, you can use them for anything that you like, doors, hatches and so on. The larger radio you have, the more channel you have, the better opportunities you have for setting up your plane. So I'm using the DX8 from Spektrum. I'm so pleased with this radio. I never had anything, not a glitch or any problems with it. But of course I wanted the DX18, but I can't afford it right now. But I will buy it when I can afford it. Okay, back to what we are going to do. We are going to use the spare channels, and we are going to add switches to these spare channels and assign the switches that we want to use. On the DX8, the flap switch is in the front. We don't want that, or I don't want that, because I like to have it on the flight mode button. All the buttons except from the mix button and the gear buttons are 3-point switches, so that makes you have even more opportunities. And also the flap switch we can use for something, the gear switch we can use for something, and everything is a sweet combination. I will use the gear switch for my retract, of course, but I'm not going to use the gear channel on the receiver, because this one is better used for the flaps. So I'm using the aux2 channel, I will get back to that, for the gears, and I will put the aux2 channel on the gear switch assignment. I'm going to assign the gear switch through the aux2 channel and so on. This is a piece of cake and I'm going to show you right now. The 3 tasks we are going to do now is flaps, retracts and a rotating head. So stay tuned. We are going to check out the radio. Hold in the scroll button and turn on your radio to go into the setup mode. And I have already set up a model with the wing type, 2 aileron, 1 flap. You can try that as well if you like to. And on the switch select, here it's what's interesting. As you can see, the knob aux3 is there, and the aux2 is there, and the gear channel is there, but the aux1 isn't there. And that's why I've chosen dual ailerons. Then the radio cuts out the aux1 channel because this one is reserved for the aileron, the dual aileron setup. Okay, you're probably wondering, why do I want to use on my receiver the flap on the gear channel? I don't know why, but from the Spektrum side, when I use the gear channel on the receiver, I don't have to do anything other than go into the flap setting on the setup menu. If I use, for instance, the aux2 channel, aux3 channel, I need to go into servo setup to sort of adjust. I can do some mixing there, but I don't want to do it the hard way when you can do it the easy way. So anyway, I'm using the gear channel for the flaps, and I'm going to use my retracts for the aux2 and the rotating head for the aux3 channel. Okay? So, but the thing that we were talking about is assigning a switch. So this is the switch select. Okay? I want my gear to be sort of the flight mode switch, but I don't have to do that in this setup mode. And the aux2 channel I want to have the aux2 flip I don't want to use, so I can set it as inhibit, but anyway it's sort of, it is aux2, and if I set it as inhibit like this, then I can go to the gear channel and I can use the gear channel as aux2. That means that the gear switch will control the aux2 channel. So let's start up trying the aux2 channel just to check out that it works. Okay? Okay, now I have added the flap servo into the gear channel on my receiver, and you remember I wanted the gear or the flap to be on the gear and without adjusting anything, but I wanted to gear switch to control the aux2 channel. That's why I assigned the aux2 channel to the gear switch. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use the gear channel for the flaps as we were talking about, but I want the switch to be the flight mode switch so I can have it in front of the radio. So what we are going to do now, we are going to go into the flap system, and you say, oh, it's inhibit, but don't worry. We will, there is the channel, the gear channel, and you have the aux2 channel, and everything is here, okay? But we of course are going to use the gear channel, and the gear channel it is like that. But then you see with the gear channel we only have 2 points. I want a 3-point set switch. That means that I have normal landing and takeoff. So we are going to go down to the switch, and there we will set flight mode. And ta-da! There we have a 3-point switch. Beautiful. As you can see, I already set up the values a bit high though, but anyway, and the speed 5 seconds, so we have more scale more scale flaps. I'm sorry. So here is the flap. Beautiful. It's okay. And then we will go back again and we will set up the aux2 channel, which I wanted to be retract but have the gear switch. And this we have, the aux2 is inhibit, but we're using the gear switch. So we will go back again, and then I will put the servo on the aux2 channel, and here's the retract. Now we have completed 2 setups in a short time. Next out is the rotating head on the aux3 knob. Now you can see the whole radio, everything is set up, and here is my rotating head. And of course we have it on the turn knob, and it works like this. Do you like Arctic RC? No! Okay, that's for today. Thank you for watching Arctic RC. Remember to subscribe and share this video on Facebook, Google+, or so on if you like them. Thank you and bye.